So I was perusing Netflix the other day, and there was a film called The Fundamentals of Caring. Now, The Fundamentals of Caring is a really great movie and stars Paul Rudd, Selena Gomez, and Tom Bush. And this is about a caregiver played by Paul Rudd, who has been in the dumps. He's getting divorced. His son has died. And he just can't seem to operate very well. So he decides to be a caretaker. And little does he know is that when he gets his first charge, he has to take care of a muscular dystrophied person who's 19, played by Tom Bush, who has a very smarmy sense of humor and a very specific set of ideals. For example, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he has to eat waffles and sausages. That's all he wants to eat. He doesn't want to go outside very much, but only for 3 hours in the park from like 1 to 4, I think, on Thursdays or something like that. It says it in the movie. And then one day, the boy shows Paul Rudd this map of all the different places he would like to see before he dies. If he ever gets the courage to ever go outside. But one day, Paul Rudd decides, you know what? We're going to make his wish come true. So they go on this cross-country trip to go see the world's largest pit, which is on his map as being the place where he wants to go. And along the way, they meet Selena Gomez, who is cross-country hitchhiking, trying to get to Salt Lake City to start a new life. In school or in a job, I can't really remember which one. And from there, hijinks ensues, and it's overall a really great film. Now, the one thing I do have to say about this film is that this comedy is a little bit hit or miss with some audiences, because with me, I do like asshole characters. And that's what Tom Bush's character, the wheelchaired character, is. He's an asshole. Most of these characters are assholes. So you gotta kind of have that sense of humor about assholes. You gotta know, what type of people are for these assholes. And they're pretty much assholes. But yet, they're so funny in their sarcasm. They almost remind me of Dr. Gregory House from the show House. It's really good. It's really brilliant. The writing in this film is a bit solid. It's just, for the longest time in the film, it keeps giving us little hints of what Paul Rudd's past was. Like, they keep mentioning what happened to his son, and we're all assuming it's like, well, what is it? What happened to his son? And pretty much that's kind of the lowest part of the film for me, is that it's essentially the same thing that always happens to young boys. They either get hit by cars or they were stolen. And in this case, this kid was hit by a car. But by the accident of Paul Rudd, which is a spoiler, I'm sorry, but it really isn't much, really. I mean, it's basically the same stuff you've seen about broken fathers, is that their children either died or disowned them. And that's kind of a downfall for this film, because a lot of it is fresh, it's new, it's great. The comedy is pretty, rapid in most places. The pacing is a little bit fast, and at times it slows down to allow for characters to rest. And that's what comedy should be able to do, is allow for, yes, some snappy lines, but it needs to take time to relax and settle down and allow us to get to know these characters. Otherwise, it just seems that they're one-dimensional, and they just don't have any emotions whatsoever other than to make you laugh. And that's what this film really does. It is a little bit dark, it's just great. The Fundamentals of Caring is a great film, and I highly suggest that you check it out on Netflix, if you have a Netflix account. I don't know if it's out on DVD, or Blu-ray, or on Vudu, or Hulu. I mean, it might be on Hulu. But The Fundamentals of Caring, for me, gets... Actually, hold on. Before we get to the rating, I do want to say something about the acting. The acting in this film, again, is hit or miss, like the jokes. The jokes can be hit or miss because of certain sensibilities. Because this one gets a bit offensive. This is an offensive film, but for me, I enjoyed it very, very much. Paul Rudd is great as this really really, as the character he plays, Tom Bush is great. Selena Gomez, surprisingly, is great after Spring Breakers. But overall, I did find this film very enjoyable, very fresh, and if the Oscar rules were to change to allow for Netflix films or Hulu original films, I'd probably see The Fundamentals of Caring at least going for at least one award. Or maybe Best Picture, who knows. But overall, I'm giving The Fundamentals of Caring a solid 8 out of 10. It's great, it's fun, it's witty, it's charming, but it also has some flaws, but it's great. So if you have Netflix, get your family together, get your girlfriend together, whatnot, sit down, watch this movie. It's a great fun ride, and I highly suggest it. So, until next time at the movies, peace.